With the Honour system soon to be a distant memory, and players hungry to show off their PvP skills, the Arena system and the Burning Crusade was arguably the best addition Blizzard has ever made to the game. My name is Chazit and welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to show you some of the best Arena comps in the Burning Crusade, comps that people used to reach Gladiator in the original game, and the raft of private servers that have followed since. So stick around as we discuss some of the deadliest comps in 3v3 Arena in what many consider to be its golden age. Now before we dive into this list, I wanted to take a minute to ask you a question. What are you most looking forward to about the Burning Crusade PvP? Leave your answer in the comments section below and I'll select a few of the answers to be featured in the next video. So to start off, we have Rogue Mage Priest, otherwise known as RMP or RPM. This is one of the original meta comps that got a lot of use in the first few years of Arena and is still used extensively today. It has many different forms of crowd control and lots of survivability which help it excel. It also has insane burst potential to get kills in the opener, but sustained damage is low so it drops off as the fight goes on. One of the biggest strengths is the ability to swap targets extremely fast so they can put intense pressure on the enemy team, often leading to early kills. The key to RMP is setting up the kills. You can kill an opponent in one of two ways: CC the DPS and kill the healer, or CC the healer and kill the DPS. The most important thing is communication, especially between the rogue and the mage. They have to coordinate sheeps, vanishes, blinds, and kidneys. The priest has the benefit of dispels, mana burns, and fears to pester the other team's healer. The comps works by getting kills in the opener or within the first few tries, but if you can survive the start of the match against them, you may well win. In terms of weaknesses, the mage and priest are heavily reliant on mana, so extremely susceptible to drain comps. Also, it's very cooldown dependent with weaker sustained damage outside of these windows. Double healer teams are exceptionally hard to beat as they can't effectively CC chain both, and it requires exceptional communication and teamwork to reach the higher ranks. Warrior Lock Druid, otherwise known as WLD, is an extremely offensive playstyle enjoying constant kill pressure with abilities like Mortal Strike, lowering the healing done on the target and allowing the Warlock to seriously rot the enemy team's health. Defensively, they are very good at peeling damage with Fears and Hamstrings, and the Storm Herald stun in the early seasons can be very fun. They're also extremely tanky with Soul Link, Siphon Life, and Warriors wearing Plate, and the Warrior is extremely strong in this comp, being able to apply staggering kill pressure whilst also being able to switch to defensive play very quickly. A good Warlock can also really run the show and carry hard as they have so much in their toolkit to disrupt the enemy team: Spell Lock, Mana Drain, and Fears to name a few. In terms of weaknesses, they can be really hard countered by caster comps where they train the warrior, and of course warriors do struggle with mobility sometimes, so they must have amazing spatial awareness. If the warlock loses their pet as well with Soul Link, Siphon Life, they become extremely squishy, so good pet control is absolutely essential. Hunterlock Druid, or HLD, which is one of the original drain comps. It's also the best comp for hunters and really comes into its own in later seasons. It has excellent mana drain potential, so thrives in longer fights where they can wear down the enemy team. It has incredible CC with Warlock Fears and Cyclones into traps, able to lock people down for extremely long lengths of time. It has very strong sustained damage with good situational burst, and is able to break combat to drink with those long CC chains. Kill pressure comes from the UA lock and Marksman Hunter putting dots on both DPS targets and swapping burst pressure whenever they blow a cooldown. This is especially useful against comps like RMP, where you can force defensive cooldowns very effectively and CC chain the healer. Early game, the goal is to drain the enemy's mana down whilst holding on to big defensive cooldowns as long as possible. In terms of weaknesses, they are susceptible to early game burst and need to make the game drag out to take control. Rating potential is also capped by how good the hunter is. Next up we have Shadowplay, which is Warlock with running Unstable Affliction, Shadow Priest, and Resto Shaman. This is an extremely offensive team with very high shadow damage, and it uses many dots including Unstable Affliction, which has the added benefit of making dispelling risky. Combine this with strong direct abilities means that kill pressure is extremely good. Shadow Priest can protect their team with shields, and Shamans bring Bloodlust, giving a great burst window and speeds up spell casting and dots. They also have the ability to regenerate mana with Mana Tide Totem if you can keep it up. Control is good with instant cast Fears, Death Coils, Silence, and stuns and other interrupts. The team also has offensive and defensive dispels. Unstable Affliction creates pressure on the enemy healer as they have to heal through the damage rather than dispel. Soul Siphon Talent also gives good survivability to the Warlock, making it dish out lots of damage whilst being able to take a bit of a beating. Shadow Weaving and Misery from the Shadow Priest give a big damage buff to both casters, especially with a lock running Shadow Mastery. Mass Dispel counters Mage Block and Pally Bubble effectively, removing their big defensive cooldowns. In terms of weaknesses, the Warlock is squishy without SLSL, Priests unlock Fears, share a DR, and Shaman Totems have to be placed very well as the enemy team will aim to clear them ASAP. Now in the interest of including all classes on this list, we have Retribution, Paladin, Warrior and Shaman. This is the original melee cleave. Now this is very strong in early seasons when people lack resilience, and it has huge burst potential with Wind Fury procs, Bloodlust and Mortal Strike lowering healing. Paladin also has very good utility with Blessing of Protection, Freedom, Hand of Sacrifice and other off-healing capabilities, and Double Storm Herald can be super annoying to play against at the best of times. Now this relies heavily on burst damage but still has good sustained pressure with Mortal Strike, and Retribution takes more of a supporting role when not in the burst window, utilising Freedom, Cleanse and others to peel damage and take pressure off the healer. Warrior is the big damage dealer, and when they have cooldowns up and the positioning is good, both melees burst and hope for Wind Fury one-shots. In terms of weaknesses though, Paladins can't use its main damage cooldown in wings against mages who will feature heavily in arenas. Now this is due to spell steal, and you do not want to be giving that mage that 30% damage buff. Paladins also need to play the match absolutely perfect to be truly effective, and they are very vulnerable to caster comps as Paladin lacks a gap closer. Now there are many other very strong and viable comps, and I'm sure more will emerge as people dive headfirst into arenas. Other popular setups include Rogue Lock Druid, Double Healer Warrior, Rogue Mage Druid, Mage Lock Priest, just to name a few. Truly, you can never know what is going to emerge as the best comp in TBC. Although people have been playing private servers on and off for over a decade, we will never have seen so many players flood back into this old TBC content. There may be meme specs that turn out to be devastating, only time will tell. If you found this video useful, please consider liking it, and for more classic TBC content, make sure you subscribe as not to miss out. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next video.